You fill your mouth with words and words. You twist them well. Oh yes, I heard. Shits and ties don't cover your light. I see you come. You the try, you try. You know me, you say we get the same society. Oh, you know me, you say we get the same philosophy. Oh, you know me, you say we get the same society. Oh, you know me, you say we get the same philosophy.
Good day, viewer. It's good to have you join us on today's edition of The Baroness. Compliments of the season. I am Anita Malun, and as we always do on The Baroness, we bring you things that will make you smile. Last week, I would say we put lots of smiles on your faces, bringing to fore the very unhuman behavior and attitude of certain people, especially towards women. But we are glad knowing that something has been done to make sure that women are treated properly and all forms of violence against them is eliminated. I'm not alone. I have my sisters with me, and of course when the crew is complete, there is so much excitement in the air. When we get to meet them, you will get to know more, and we catch up on what took place last week, and then we'll delve into today, the reason for the season and how you can make it very merry for your family. Nene is right here with me. How do you do, Nene?
I'm doing good, and of course, well, Christmas is in the air.
Yeah.
It's just a few more days to Christmas, and I'll say I'm glad to be here because it feels very Christmassy around here, if you know what I mean. And well, as Anita said, last week we tried to talk about the 16 days activism to mark the elimination of violence against women, and we had the president of the state chairperson of FIDA, Barrister Mary Izam, in the house last week to talk about laws that are already in place and what can be done, and the need to break the silence when violence is meted out against women and girls.
Yeah, wow. There's a need to say something when something is being done to you. I think the era of shame is over. Yeah, it's way over.
Way over.
And of course we have the ever lovely Bate as usual. How do you do?
Anita, I'm happy. I'm so happy it's this season, and to think that for me, taking off, it's sweet to know.
Please don't rub it in. Rub it in.
Eva, we should rub it in. Both of us are on
Excuse
leave,
me, how is it that the two of you are on leave at the same time? I just can't understand. They can't be on leave at the same time, especially during Christmas.
Yeah, don't worry. For Baroness, we can do anything. That is why we're here.
Yeah.
Because we're always happy. Our hearts are always lifted when we come for the Baroness. Last week, something that was certain that you need to know is that violence against women is no longer a domestic issue. If you report it to the police, they will not send you back home to go and settle it. It is now criminal and punishable by our laws. So just in case you have been having a good time doing that without being punished or without being apprehended, you cannot be so sure anymore, because the little awareness that has been created to this very moment is helping a lot of people now to speak up. And we believe that more will speak up, even though the level is still not appreciable, but we know that more people will speak up and more people will be apprehended. And this evil, this monster that is cycling, is roaming around us without us realizing, will soon be kicked out of our society.
Exactly. And part of that enlightenment and awareness was what NAWAJ did, Nigeria Association of Women Journalists. We actually went on a courtesy visit to the Commissioner of Police in the state, to intimate him on the need to not treat issues or cases of violence against women and girls, with kid
With
gloves.
levity,
And
yeah.
we were very happy when he introduced to us the gender officer in the
Oh.
police headquarters.
Ooh,
So if
quite
there's
exciting.
any issue, she handles it and all that. And
What is that supposed to be the dex officer?
yes,
or this
that's what they
police?
call them. They said
All
a
right.
gender they called her the gender officer.
All right.
So any issue that has to do with violence, violation and all that in the police, all you have to do is to see her. When you go to the police headquarters, they can just send you to her, and then she can take up the case or you report the case. And it's good that people are responding. And we had to even bring to his notice the fact that the DPO of Nasarawa Gom is doing a great job.
Wow.
And he's a man that has always taken cases of violence against women seriously. He doesn't sleep. He collaborates with Nawaj. Any case he hears of violence, he calls Nawaj. There's a case like this, and then before you know what's happening, the police and Nawaj are mediating in such cases. And FIDA is also working with us, where they give counsel. Any case that they need to take to court, they take to court. And any victim that needs protection, to be cared for, to forestall further violence, they help you, keep you in a safe place, and then while the case goes on. That's what we are saying. Do not keep quiet.
Yeah.
It's not time to say it's a shame and all that. Please do not keep quiet. You can always talk to us, whatever the case is. You know what, Babe? Someone called me last week during our the last edition of our program, and he said as he listened to us, he was really, really touched, and he was angry because there was a case of somebody whose daughter was violated by a landlord, but the father, I'm sure due to shame, hit the girl. She got pregnant, JS3, a minor, and then she's put to bed. Now, that is what we are saying. You cannot keep quiet and say the shame is on you, the father. How about the life of that girl? And of course,
How about the life of other girls that this same man will also violate?
So that's what we're
because
talking
what
about.
we're trying to say is stop it on your table.
Exactly.
If it comes to your doorpost, stop
Put a
it there.
stop to it.
Do all
So
that
it
you
does
can.
do everything that you can, so it doesn't go to the next
Exactly.
house. That is what we're saying. If you protect this child today, tomorrow you may not be there, and it could be your granddaughter again. So and then apart from this one is even a distant relative person now. But the one that is more worrisome is when family members are involved.
Yeah.
And it's been the key reason why silence is being has continued, because it is close relatives that are involved in this.
And then people will say it's shame. How can it be said that a family member did this? Or how can it be said that a close neighbor? Or how can it be said that this man that is respected in the society? How can it be said? Well, it can be said.
It can be said. It should be said.
And then
It should
people
be
make
said.
matters worse. It is women that come and say, "Hey, you want to end my marriage? For God's sake, you don't have a marriage. Your husband has violated his daughter, and you are thinking of a marriage."
Of a marriage?
The marriage doesn't even exist.
I don't know how we think. I don't know how we think.
Well, that is what we are saying, and that was what we culminated last week. And coincidentally, that last week marked the end of the 16 days activism. But the 16 days activism is not an end to talking about eliminating violence against women and girls, and that's what we're doing here today. You know anything, you've heard of it, contact us. We're Team Baroness, and believe you me, with the help of God, we will go places for you. We will try at least to get justice for you or your ward or your neighbor's child or somebody that you know. As long as you love justice, please do not keep quiet.
Yeah. Don't keep quiet. Say something. When we started having issues of security, there was this jingle that was always being aired. When you see something, when you hear something,
say something.
We are reminding you, it goes beyond just security challenges. When you see something, when someone does something that is not proper to you, say
something.
Say it. If you tell the first person and the person doesn't seem to respond, go to the next, keep talking about it until something is done. Back to today. We will never trash this issue, not just yet. But back to today, Christmas is in the air, and the season is right by our doorsteps. We as Africans, we have taken it upon ourselves to celebrate Christmas in grand style. it is that time of year when people eat rice. But that was once upon a time. Rice has now become a staple food. But then for kids, that's when families buy new clothes for kids. That's when you spend all the money that you made during the year, you know. and we do so much. It's time for family. And you go all out to make sure that your family gets the best at such periods. But truth be told, the economy he had.
Anita, talking about economy. If we talk about the economy, this program won't even go on air. But because we are trying to, live every day by grace, that is why we're still here, and we're determined and committed to ensure that the program comes your way. But it's not even the season. How should we celebrate the season? She's talked about rice eating. You're thinking of your family, right? Okay, selfish you. How about those who don't have families? Have you wondered?
Nene, over the years, I know that this message has been drummed that Christmas season is a time of sharing because Jesus came and gave. God sent his son at that period, gave up his only son, as precious as he was, or as he is till date. God just gave him up for us. He shared his best. That has been the message. But I don't know to what extent have we actually appreciated that message and have tried to do same to our neighbors. I wonder.
Well, we always make excuses, but I'm happy to say that there are people who have taken it upon themselves, in spite of the difficulties and the harshness of the economy, to make sure that they help those in need time and time again. I'm talking about Pastor Comfort of Widows Comfort's Home.
Pastor Comfort Padonu.
Yes.
And her husband.
We have featured her on this program, and she's doing so well, going all out to take care of widows.
And orphans.
Yes. And this time around, she also did it. She did it last year, and this year they also did it. Well, fortunately, the Baroness team was right there, and we captured the true essence of this season, which is giving just the way God has asked us to. I think we should take a trip down to that place and let our viewers get a feel of how we felt being there.
Widows Comfort Outreach Ministries International is a Christian ministry founded 26 years ago with the mission to empower widows and orphans socially, physically, spiritually, and financially. Executive Director of the ministry, Pastor Comfort Padonu, said this is a season of love and the best way to celebrate is to provide for the widows and orphans. Padonu added that identifying with the less privileged is a means of spreading God's love to those in need, and added that the ministry intends to sustain the gesture.
We in the ministry have taken it that the only way out of such situation and into a sustainable good living is through our prayers, which Widows Comfort Outreach Ministry International is based on. Our prayer is that 2019 will be more peaceful, secured, and prosperous for everyone in Jesus' name.
Guest preacher on the occasion, Reverend Emmanuel Canos, who read from the book of Matthew 25, 31 and 46, said, when God gives wealth, it is expected that such wealth should be invested in improving the living standards of the needy.
A lot of people who don't give are people who feel they don't have. Oh God, that responsibility to support the people who God has bequeathed to be supported.
The event climaxed with the cutting of a Christmas cake anchored by Esther Nasara, Deputy Director, News and Current Affairs, PRTVC, flanked by other dignitaries present at the event, and the presentation of gifts to the widows and orphans. Goodwill messages came from some invited guests who commended Pastor Comfort Padonu for the initiative, promising to support the ministry to grow. The yearly Christmas celebration for widows and orphans had beneficiaries from all religions and ethnicities. Some of the beneficiaries, Amina Ibrahim, Esther Job, and Talatu Anyam, could not hide their joy. There were song presentations by the widows and the church choir. In Jos, this is Justin Dafan.
Okay. Wow. Just discussing with Nene how it went at the Widows Comfort Home.
Christmas celebration actually. It's a Christmas. You know, that day was actually their Christmas day.
Yeah, and it was Christmas, true.
Mm-hmm.
You know, giving. Oh my God, I'm even lost for words.
You know, Anita.
Can you share with us what the preacher
actually,
that day?
The preacher, Reverend Dr. Emmanuel Kanos, he said something and it blew my mind. I hadn't actually looked at it that way. He said, you know, in the Bible, there's the story where Jesus gave the parable of the talents. You know, one man was given 5 talents, another was given 3 talents, one was given 2, and one was given one talent. And he said that the man with the 5 talents worked hard and got 5 more. The one with 3 worked and got 3 more, like that. And he said it seems it's only those people who have been blessed, rich people, that seem to learn to give or work hard. But the man that was given 1 talent decided to go and bury his talent. He was the only one that buried the talent, and he exemplified it as those who say they are poor in the society are the ones who don't give. They're the ones who usually bury their talents because it's just one that they have. So he went and buried it. But the one with 5, well, it's expected that the one with 5 should go and bury and this thing go enough to be removing it one after the other. But no, he worked hard to get 5 more. But the one with 1 went and buried. So he accused, people, especially he was very hard on the church. Said, we've not done enough. We've not done enough to give. And he also said something. He said there are 7 things God expects Christians to do. Talking from a Christian perspective. The first one is you visit the sick. No, you feed the hungry. The first one. The second one is you provide water for the thirsty. And the third one is you visit the sick, and then you visit the prisoners, and then you clothe the naked. And then there's a 6th one. What's the 6th one now? Where
you feed the widow and the orphans.
No, before you feed the widow and the orphans, that's the 7th one. There's 7, but that 7th one you cannot just find it anywhere. You have to first of all search the scriptures, and it's found in James chapter 1, I think verse 26 or thereabout, where it is written that pure and undiluted religion is this before God and the Father, that we take care of the widows and orphans. So if you claim to be religious and you've never taken care of any widow, please go and check your brain again.
In fact, you shouldn't go far. Start with the widows in your own house.
Exactly. I was going to say so, Anita, because, when on Sunday our pastor was talking about bringing food and the rest of them that will be shared, I had to start looking inward. Would one of my relatives see me carrying a bag of rice to the church when I have not been able to give them a measure of maize? If I have not been able to give my relatives who know me, who I'm related with, whom I'm aware about their situation, and I have not been able to help, and I go ahead to carry things to church.
For sure.
Thank you. For sure. That is not what scripture is. I'm sure it's not talking about here.
And it's certainly not the essence for this.
So your family,
and that is not pure and undiluted.
You start from your home. You have relatives who are you. There is no family, I would dare to say, in Africa, back to Nigeria, to Plateau State, that does not have a widow, that does not have an orphan. What have you done before you think about outside? And we have established here severally that if only we are able to do that, there won't be any need to centralize these helps. Because everyone takes care of someone that is close to him. But because we have so neglected that and have practiced this showbiz religion, we have you will see your own relative lining up like for social welfare food. And you are there.
Hey,
that's what we're saying. That's what the preacher at that occasion said. If you heard him, he said it's unfortunate that the head and the whole body, everything is dysfunctional, because the brain is saying something, but the hand is not responding to what the brain is saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the brain is passing a message, but
the hand is not really.
Yeah, the leg is
something like, okay, you mean the head is saying give, Give.
and then the hand is saying no.
I don't have.
I don't have.
I don't have.
I don't have. Or the
Cannot
heart is
remove this
saying
one.
no, this is too small. I can't do. So the whole body is dysfunctional. That is why we cannot see properly, we cannot hear properly, and we're not acting properly.
Wow. Now, what can we do? I think there's so much we can do. If we think we don't have, then I am here to tell you that you do have. You just don't realize it. And you are just telling yourself that you don't have. When we come back, we'll let you know how, what it is you have, and how you can make it meaningful for someone else this Christmas season. We know times are difficult, economy is hard, but from the little that you have, you can make a whole lot of difference in the life of someone